Just one more time, just one more time. Hi folks, it's Kate, and this is a VR to Brian's birth card video. Mine are the Hierophant and Temperance. I have the RWS and the Druidcraft for both, and if you notice, in the Druidcraft, it changes from the Hierophant to the High Priest. And Temperance becomes the Hierophant. That is not the way you pronounce that card. I have not idea on how to pronounce this word. It's F-F-E-R-Y-L-L-T. Translated, it's also known as the Alchemist. It's really interesting to me that these cards go together very nicely. And in this tradition, in the Druidcraft tradition, this is about connecting to the divine, connecting to the magic within us. It's finding that way. So both of these cards, this in many ways does represent the divine feminine, although an alchemist does not necessarily have to be a female. In the Celtic Druid tradition, it can be a man. And this is the witch, right? She has balance. She has compassion. She has the ability to talk with those who have gone before. She can make things out of herbs, and she can make things out of metals, namely gold and silver. And she's the one that people would go to for the answers in her village. And the same with the high priest. Both of these come to the divine in a different way. Where the alchemist uses science and magic, the high priest does it through magic in his connection to the divine. And the Hierophant is also a connection to the divine element, although it's a little bit more based in Christian beliefs than the Druidcraft. It definitely does connect to the divine. The High Priestess, or the Hierophant, is a teacher, a guide within the community. And the Alchemist, and to some extent the Angel, is a guide in the community, but it's a little bit more advanced than the High Priest. I find it really interesting that I got these two cards. Another way of looking at the Hierophant is as a teacher, and part of my everyday job where I get up and go to work. And by the way, I do love my job in so many ways. I'm really blessed because I get to work with faculty at a community college, and I get to teach them new skills every day, and I get to help students, I get to help faculty, staff, and others at the community college, and I absolutely adore and love my job. And I'm teaching, and I'm, advocating, I am representing, I'm doing all those things that a priest or the Hierophant would do. So that is really interesting. And the Temperance card, especially this one right here, shows her working, and she's making something out of nothing. And I kind of feel like that's what I kind of do all day, is to make something out of nothing. And it's so, for me, I really enjoyed getting both of these cards in the mix. So I'm just going to just draw a couple of cards. I'm going to use a different deck than either the RWS or the Druidcraft. I'm going to use a deck called the Gothic Tarot. It's by Moonlight Publication. It's absolutely a beautiful deck. I got this deck 15 years ago, where I got the Druidcraft 14 years ago. So it's a little bit older by a year. So for the High Priest, I got 2 of Cups. And for the Temperance card, I got the King of Cups. This is really interesting to me. This is what where the Hierophant will lead me to, and this is where the Temperance would lead me to. So for this, 2 of Cups. Now, in the RWS tradition, this would probably be 2 people looking lovingly onto each other, gazing into their eyes. But I like that this is just 2 cups sitting here, and it has the lion here. And 2 is about bringing together. And for me, it's bringing emotion. So the Hierophant for me is my ability to bring emotion and bring love to the thing that I do. It's to seek out also loving people and bringing them into my life, and bringing in the Hierophant and the male masculine energy into my life. And that is so true. I am working on that now. This is definitely a lesson that I needed to learn. And on the Temperance side, the King of Cups. He's an interesting fellow, I always thought. You know, he's has one hand on his cup, and he's looking to the right. He's, you know, filled with a lot of passion, and he's scented, he's rounded. He knows what he wants. He's full of emotion, full of love. And that's me. That's definitely me. And I can identify with both of these cards. While I was doing the VR, I also did Brian's time cards. And I got 2 cards that were interesting to me as well. One is the Emperor and the Death card. And I said, wow, this really is reflective of me as well. And I did a whole video on the Death card yesterday, so I'm not going to go into too much, but I did the video before I did my calculations. So if you go back and watch the video, you can see why it's so powerful. Maybe not in this particular card, but I talked about this card right here. If I can find it. I'm sorry, I didn't have it out. It was this card. And my nephew really did connect with this card, and I talked a little bit about it in my video. But I do think that although death is pretty scary for a lot of people, I think it's been an important card in my life. I've lost my father when I was 5, my grandfather when I was 11, my brother when I was 12, and my grandmother when I was in my 20s, but death has always been there in the background. And I find it interesting that I have a lot of male energy in these cards. You know, especially within the RWS system, like the Hierophant, the Emperor, and even I think death is masculine in this card as well. So when I see the Knight of Cups covering Temperance, it just tells me that I might need to connect with the divine masculine a little bit more. And in my case, my patron god is Manannán Mac Lir, and he is actually the king of the underworld, and another god that is my patron god, or I should say goddess, is the Morgan, and she is the goddess of death, rebirth. She's also the warrior goddess, and she's gotten me through a lot of rough spots in my life. So all of these cards really kind of reflect very much into my life, because the Emperor could be seen as the teacher, and in the Next World Tarot, the Emperor has become the teacher. Such a beautiful card. And I do really connect with that. And then, just to show you a little bit difference, in the Death card, it's actually a woman. And in the Everyday Enchantment Tarot, the Emperor card, this is like a very warming and inviting card all the way around. It's such a beautiful card. And just to show you what the Hierophant looks like in the Everyday Enchantment card, that's such a beautiful card as well. So I don't want to get this video too long. I haven't really done all the points that I wanted to get to, but I just really wanted to do this video really quickly. And thank you for listening. Thank you for watching. Sorry about the shaky cam. It's been one of those days. So, peace out. Have a great one.